I, I got it. All right. Everything is smooth. Everything is operating. I finally have it. I got everything just the way it needs to be. Sorry about that. I'm sorry for the delay, the delay in the information. But as they say, all good things come to those who wait, and we've been waiting. I wanted to get started at 4:30. I tried to pull it up, and things happened. Things got in the way, and here we are. We're here now, and everybody could go ahead and like, share, subscribe. I do have the comments on, and I am. Let's see. I believe you should be able to see them now. You should be able to chat. You should be able to chat now. So I'm gonna give it a moment. Let's see. Shows a chat. It shows one for me. This is the first time it's looked like this. So let me check. Testing. I see a chat. Welcome to live chat. Let's see. Uh, we're gonna give it a moment. I know I've had to retest it, restart it, and restart it. So I want to make sure that the chat is working. Okay. Okay. I see a chat. I see a chat. I'm cooking. I'm good. So what I'm going to be doing, I'm gonna go ahead and kind of get started, and I'm gonna allow people to come in. What I'm going to be doing is going over. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Thank you for chiming in. Please feel free to hit the like button, share, subscribe, all those good things. I'm going to go over a lot of prop trading. If you have a lot of prop trading, like forex pairs before the market opens and prior to the week, this is the same type of work that I do before the market begins. And any questions that you may have, feel free to post them in the chat. So what I'm gonna attempt to do, I don't want to say try. What I'm gonna attempt to do is go over exactly how I would be charting. I chart using us. I say buy wholesale, sell retail. Some people may call it supply and demand. So that's exactly what I'm gonna be going over. If you have any questions, once again, put them in the chat. I like to start off with the SPY to kind of see what the market's going to be doing. I'm going to go over a little bit of hopefully everything. If I miss something, I'll make sure that I'll circle back around it. But this won't be my last time doing this. So things will continue to grow and progress as we all do moving forward. So type of one in the chat. I want to make sure that everybody can hear me good and clear. Make sure you can hear me good and clear, perfect and clear. If I can get a one in the chat, one in the chat, perfect, perfecto. Thank you for that. So the first thing I'm gonna be going over is I like to look at. I use a triple screen time frame, which is basically after Dr. Alexander Elder. This isn't something I made up, although I would love to take the credit for it. It wasn't just me. It wasn't me. It came from someone else's previous knowledge. Dr. Alexander Elder. A book I would recommend by that way is Coming to My Trading Room, and he talked about the triple screen trading method. So that's something that I've adapted into my trading for the past few years, which is such, right? Uh, I'll go deeper into that as I go along, but I want to stick kind of briefly so that this is more so a preparation for the week instead of a training for that specific type of trading. So I like to use the weekly, the daily, and the 4 hour. The weekly and the daily and the 4 hour. That's for day trading. I'm sorry, that's for swing trading. So for swing trading, that's what I like to use. The weekly time frame is where I like to get my wholesale and my retail areas, or some people would say they like to get their trend from. So I always start off with the weekly, and also you see my Fibonacci levels on here. These levels are very significant to me because they show me the wholesale areas between 0 and 0.382. I like to look at that as my wholesale area, and then above from 618, or let me say it this way, 0.618 to 1 would be my retail area, And as we all know that are familiar with the Fibonacci levels, that 1.618 is what they call the golden Fibonacci. Yes, the golden Fibonacci. So I'm going to go ahead and start off with charting. I use TrendSpider. I like using TrendSpider. I have my areas over here already set so that way I could draw my boxes or areas. And also, one more thing that I'm looking at is what's on the chart. You see my raindrop candles. The candles don't really matter to me. They don't really matter to me because I'm trading price. This is just a matter of if you like the way they look and then also understanding them. I won't say that you have to understand them necessarily because you're trading the price. Is price in the area or not? The candles are just the candles, right? So the first things first, where's the wholesale area? Here, I see my wholesale areas from the 0 to the 382. I like to use really that whole candle right here that you see, and I'll kind of move it just to show it a little bit more. This candle right here, make it bigger for you. Dude, this candle. This candle right here is going to be my that's the whole candle that I like to use for the area. That's my buying area. That would be considered my buying area. So if price was down here, which it was, let's see here, and I'm gonna go over everything because if you remember, if you're in the Mighty Network or if you follow me on X, I talked about this trade and I got into this trade originally at this wholesale area. While the trade was in the wholesale area, I'm looking to take my swings. What I mean by taking a swing is taking an entry. I'm looking to take my entry while in that area. Just like anything else we probably would do regarding buying and selling, we would look to buy it at a wholesale prices and sell it at a retail price. So that's the same thing we kind of have here. And I don't want to say kind of, that's the same thing we do have here. Let's see. Also, that I want to make sure that I take note of is this here is an anchored VWAP that I have on my screen. It's on my screen, but I will not say that a tremendous part into the trading plan, especially regarding the SPY. Because what is basically showing is if price is above the VWAP, then it's showing that hey, the price is overpriced. The asset is overpriced. If it's below, then it's underpriced or undervalued. And if it's at the VWAP, then it's what it is at the average price. It's the average price for that asset class. And you'll see more as we all know the SPY is pretty much always oversold or in demand, right? I know they say oversold, and then what's the other one? Undersold, oversold, and undersold, whatever that is. But it's in demand, and also there's a supply area. So once again, we have the demand here, and I'm going to go and draw the retail area. The retail area, remember, is between above the 618 and the one. As you see here, there's a candle that's showing that. Now you could draw your own Fibonacci levels. These are just things I'm thinking of as I'm talking out exactly what I'm thinking. So these are things that you could draw out yourself. A lot of people do draw their own Fibonacci lines. I just like using TrendSpider. I like using TrendSpider. They have something here called the Auto Fibonacci, Auto Fib. You can turn them off, turn them on, turn them off, turn them on. I leave them on. Yeah, I leave them on. I leave them on, especially while I'm doing this kind of charting activity here. So we see right now, looking at the SPY, that we are currently it's currently above that retail area. Now, that's one thing. That's the first thing. The first things first is to get that wholesale and that retail area. I'm going to bring this down a little bit. Sometimes I do like to tighten it on the daily time frame. I like to tighten it, kind of see where that candle's at, but just like that. So that's a matter of your own, however you may see it, but definitely within that area. So between the 0 and 382, you'll be looking for your buys, and between 618 and the 1, you'll be looking for primarily sales. Now, when do you look for that? So now we got those areas, which is the main reason of the weekly, is simply to get those areas. You're not going to get another weekly candle until next week. You won't get another weekly candle until next week. So you're not even really just paying attention to that screen all that much. So now, as we look at the daily here, notice on the daily, the only thing that's on here is the stochastics. There's only the stochastics that's here. So if we're looking for a buy on the stochastics, well, we want to see our buys below this midline. I'm going to make this screen bigger right here just so you can see exactly what I'm speaking on. Let's see if I can do a horizontal line. Let's see. Hopefully, I don't. Okay, perfect, perfecto. So if you're looking for buys, if you're looking for buys, you want to make sure that it's below the 50. Preferably, I rather see it down here, like these numbers. You want to see it low to the point where it can't really quote unquote go down any further. If you're looking for a buy, this is an example. If you're looking for a buy, right, and your stochastic is below the 50, that can give you a go ahead and give yourself a thumbs up. Now, I like to keep my trades consistent. I like to keep the lot sizes consistent. So between a 1% and 2%. Honestly, if you look at the trading plan that I have available on my Substack, it was at 0.65 if you're a prop trader. If you're prop trading, I use 0.65. So I would say anywhere between 1% to 2% of your while trading. But looking at a buy for, say, the SPY at this time, so this would have been the SPY, this would have been the Nasdaq, this would have been the QQQ, this would have been the SPX. They all pretty much are the same. They're for a lack of better terms. So if you're looking for buys, you want to make sure that you're looking below here because this is pretty much telling you below value, above value. Right now, we see it talking about the now. Right now, it's still above. Excuse me, it's still above that 50, that midline. So price is still above that 50. So type in the chat if you're going to take a buy, right? Think about it this way. This is your buying area. Below 50 is your buying area. And for this is pretty much representing, let's say, the percentages. So I would want to get it on a discount. I want to get my buys on a discount. Right now, you're paying above value, just as if you went into the store. It still has room to go down before coming back up. So right now, if you were to buy, just thinking about the same principle as any kind of product that you would buy in a store, you will be paying above value. I don't know anyone that would purposely, if you can go anything you recently bought, if you can go look at a chart for it, right? If you can go look at a chart for, I don't know, the new iPhone or anything you may have bought, and you saw that, hey, right now, I know that it's above value right now. Would you pay for it? Type in the chat if you would pay for it. If you knew that, hey, if you everything you go buy, if you knew you can look at a chart and say, hey, if it's above the 50, I'm not gonna pay for it. I'm looking to buy it and the price can still come down. Why would I pay a higher price and I know that it can come down? The no come from knowledge. So that's what we want to get here, right? So right now with the SPY, we're not looking to buy it. We want to be looking to buy it right now. And then this 4 hour chart, the 4 hour chart, let me make sure I do see. Okay, let me slide it over a little bit. The 4 hour chart, I like using the PSAR, which stands for the parabolic stop and reverse. The parabolic stop and reverse, I use that for entries. So that's one way to use your entries. That's one way, right? So I'm gonna go over here. I'm gonna show you. So example right here. Put this right there. All right, perfect. So you see here on the PSAR how price continued to well, I'm sorry, the PSAR was coming down. Once price crossed above the PSAR then flipped. The parabolic stop and reverse then flips. It gave you an entry, one. It gave you an entry, and then also it gave you a stop loss. That's what I use. I use that for my stop loss. You get your entry and then you get your stop loss. From there, now I'm going to trail it. I use the PSAR to trail it. So you would have trailed it all the way up to your where? You would have trailed it up to your retail area. Buy wholesale, sell retail. It's the same exact concept on every asset, every ticker that you look at, the concepts will be the same. So if you have any questions regarding the PSAR, let me know in the chat as well. So that's one way that I like to enter. That's one way that I like to enter. The second way would be using the previous day's highs and lows. So if I'm bullish, if price is in this bullish area, then you can start looking for the previous day highs and lows. So like right now, for instance, Right now, right now, I see the previous day's high is at 572, if that's correct. I have a little line. So the previous day's high. Let me look over here. Yeah. So right now we're actually at the previous day. This is the spot. So 572 was the previous day. I'm not looking to buy this. I'm not looking to buy the spy at the beginning of this week. If we're talking about swing trading, we're talking about buying wholesale, selling retail. I'm not looking to buy. I'm not looking to pay the top price. Can it continue to go up? Absolutely. And honestly, the 50, just know that that 50 midline on the stochastic serves as the average price. It serves as the average price. Also, what's telling you that it's also at the average price? Remember the VWAP. So I have a VWAP on here now. The VWAP, I have it on here for myself. If a person want to follow the same type of program, they can. But it just shows me. I only have the VWAP over here on the 4 hour and also the weekly, right? But it's just showing me. It's just something else just to show me that hey, price right now is above value. Remember the VWAP. If price is above the VWAP, it's above value. If price is below the VWAP, it's undervalue. If it's at the VWAP, it's at value or average, the average value. It's the volume average going price. That's the way I like to look at it. It's the average going price. Above, that means you're paying too much for whatever you're buying. If it's below, you're if it's below and you're looking to buy, good job. So right now it's just telling me like, hey, you may be paying too high for what you're trying to buy. So the SPY right now, I'm gonna go ahead and say that um, I wouldn't buy it right now. I would be waiting for it to come down. I'm not sure if there's any news that's coming out this week, so I took note of that. I went ahead and wrote an arrow. That doesn't mean I'm gonna take the trade going down. That doesn't mean I'm gonna take the trade going down. That means I'm gonna wait. I may be because also another thing to look at is this changes. So this retail area could become your new wholesale area. It could become the new lows, but you need to wait. One needs to wait for that stochastics to come down in order to take it back up. Type of one in the chat if that makes sense. So I'm gonna move forward as well, and I'm paying attention to the chat. I'm gonna move forward over to the Euro USD. You know what? Let's last time I tried to pull up my CL oil, I know a lot of people trade oil. Last time I tried to do that, dang, so I'm not sure it didn't pop up. I'm not sure why. My CL chart didn't pop up my weekly. It's weird. I don't know. Maybe it does that when it's I can't. I'll be making up some kind of reason for that, rhyme or reason, but I'll get back into that one. So let me go over to. Let's take a look at. I'm gonna go with Euro USD. Euro USD. Oh, Euro USD. Okay, so we're gonna go through the same thing, and this may be a little bit faster. If you have any questions, just let me know in the chat. But you see right here, we have our wholesale area, right? Wholesale zero. So you could do the whole area. I like to do the candle. That's how I learned. That's how I learned it. I'm not saying that um, using this isn't wrong, but if you think about it, I guess I would be considered more conservative by using this area. So this is just telling you I'm looking for a specific area to swing as a baseball player would. They would take their shot, or like a basketball player, they would take their shot within that area. Now, if you use the whole thing, then you just have more margin for error, if I may. Because no matter if you're right about your decision to buy, you could just have the wrong timing. And that's anything in life. You know, you could be at the right place, but at the wrong time. All right. So right here, I like to use the candle. Majority of the time I'm using the candle. And when you're trading, you want to have a trading plan because you want to be consistent and persistent with everything that you're doing. Everything should be the same week in, week out. It should be when you think about it at night, it should be in your head. Like you know what you're gonna do. You know that you're gonna look at the weekly, buy wholesale, sell retail. You know that on the daily, you're gonna look for the stochastic, whether it's too high or if it's too low. You know that on the 4 hour, you're gonna look for the PSAR to enter. You know that also on top of that, you can use your PSAR or the break. If you're bullish, the break of the high, or if you're bearish, or you're looking for sales, the sell, the bottom of the low, the break of it, right? That's what we mean, or they mean. I'll say we. I don't know who they are. Higher highs, if you're bullish, higher highs and lower lows. Look at the next day. Look at the previous day, right? So let me go ahead and do the retail area here. Bam. So right now, what I consider this middle area, what you can consider this middle area, is your, I call it the fair value. Right here, it's called fair value. And notice I'm calling it fair value. And what a coincidence. The VWAP, right? Volume weighted anchored price, if that's correct. The volume weighted anchor price is right here as well. About, I could click on this and it'll show me, but let's round it. It's about 1.08. It's about 1.08. So right now we're slightly above the average price. All right. So we're slightly above the average price right now. And then if I go over here to my daily, that's all I'm looking at the weekly for. I really mean when I say buy wholesale and sell retail, right now is a fair value, is a fair price right now. And I'm not saying you can't buy it at this time. I wouldn't. I'm not looking to buy above the average price. If anything, if I'm looking to buy something, at least let it be below the average. I'm looking to make money. I'm looking to make money from this trade. I mean, I don't know what other reason you would want to do it. I'm looking to gain something from it. I don't want to pay above value. That's crazy to me. If you know that it's above value and you have something that you can look at on the screen that tells you, hey, this is above value right now, you want to go ahead and pay for it? No, absolutely not. You're not about to get over on me. Not like that. Not when I know better. So that's the point of the knowledge part. You know better. So right now we're seeing that the euro dollar is above value. So now we see that it's at like a fair value price. Fair value, above value, however you want to put it, basically means don't buy it right now. Now going over to the daily. Going over to the daily, you see the stochastic is kind of it's right there at that point where it may just sit there and consolidate. It's showing you, it says 13 point. I'm just gonna use the top number. So 13, and I think that's a 9. Let me make that a little bit bigger so we all can see it. So one thing is this stochastic is not cross. That's something to pay attention to. As you see, when it's cross, it goes up. I look at it as a valve. I look at it like a valve. I was in the military, and I mean, we all should know this. When you turn a valve, it opens up pressure to another, to either opens up pressure or closes pressure, right? Closes, open and closes the pressure. So if I see a crossover, I'm thinking, oh, the bullish pressure has now turned up, right? And vice versa. Oh, the valve has crossed. The bearish pressure is headed downwards. So right now, we currently still have that bearish pressure. That valve for that bearish pressure is still on top. The Bears are winning. The Bears are winning right now. I mean, something just popped up in my head right now as I'm looking at it. The Reds on top. You don't you don't want to get in the trade while the Reds on top. Maybe when it starts to cross over, when you get that little cross, when it starts going, you get that little crossover going. At that time, you may want to look into the entry. Now, what I was getting at with the 13 and 9, I look at it as a percentage. There's a mathematical equation behind it. There's a mathematical equation behind it, but I look at it as a percentage. It's, I would say, quote unquote 13% area to go down. Now that doesn't necessarily mean 13%. I'm saying it in a very layman's way. You can look up the stochastic and study the stochastic. I have my own understanding on it. I have my own understanding on it that shows me basically there's a little bit more room for it to go down. As we see over here to the left, always look to the left, right? The first thing you want to do is find your current market price and then look to the left. You look for your zones. So we see last time it was around this area, it started consolidating. So there could be some news or something could happen that on the outside of the screen, which is something I don't pay too much attention to. It's all noise. There's something that could bring this down a little bit more further, right? And we see that, oh, last time it was within this area, within that area, it got bought up. So I'm going to give it time. I'm going to give it time to continue to go down, right? And then we also see that our VWAP right here is showing that it's kind of it's undervalued right now. The VWAP is matching the stochastic. It's telling you it's undervalued right now. So in my head, what I'm thinking right now is that price could come back down to this area. Remember, I said that I was conservative. This is conservative. This is aggressive. You see that? So if price came down to this area, right? I'll leave it right here. Just from now on, what I'm gonna do, matter of fact, right now is I'm gonna leave it right here just to show the more aggressive approach. I am more conservative. I do leave it. I'll have it down there primarily. Or if I have it, if you were to do this example, I would consider that a two trade. So you have a one trade, which would be a full trade. So just say a full trade would be 0.65 for me. It will be 0.65 for me. Now, a two trade, that would be a 0.50 risk. You see the difference? 0.65 and 0.50. If I have the chart like this and I'm thinking about entering a trade, which honestly I'm gonna leave it like this because I've charted a lot of these charts already, and I'm aware of how many charts are available. And primarily, I'm only looking at, let's see here, six, seven. I'm looking about I'm looking at eight tickers. There's not going to be eight trades available. So now you're limiting your risk. That's called risk management. You're limiting your risk by having not a lot of trades to a lot of assets or tickers or forex pairs that you're trading. That's one way of risk management. The next way of risk management is quality control. You have your one trades and your two trades. One trade will be conservative. If price was down here, I'm looking to swing, and we'll see some. I'll show you some that I've entered already that are one trades, and then you'll have two trades. So if price was to come down here, we see that it can't go down too much further. Well, I'll take a two trade. This is just more aggressive to me. I'll probably be paying about average price, and I'm willing to spend a two trade on it, a 0.50. So for the Euro USD, what I'll be looking for next is I'll look for the rest of the down drop on it. Say today. So say today you have Sunday, tomorrow's Monday. I'll look for more of a drop. But when price comes, now I'm gonna make this 4 hour bigger so that we all can see it. When price hits this PSAR up here, price, you see that PSAR right there that's dipping down. When price hits that PSAR, I'll be ready to enter my trade. So with TrendSpider, you could put an alert. So I will put an alert. I'll put an alert when it touches. I don't. You could be conservative for the breakthrough. So that's a close and break above the PSAR, or you could do the touch. I know that I'm risk managing on how many trades I'm taking. So if price touches it, I'll enter the trade. So I will have buy uh Euro USD. And then I like to do trigger twice. That doesn't matter. I'm gonna enter the first time and create alert. So now when price hits this, I'm going to get an alert on the computer. It's also going to send me an email and also a text message to my phone to let me know to enter the trade. That's done. I don't There's nothing to think about. Once I get that text message, I know the end of my trade, and I know that I'm always using the same risk management, which is at a 0.65, 0.50 on my trades. I'm gonna take the trade. There's no extra thinking about that because today the homework is done. We're doing the homework right now. That way you can have the rest of your week to do the things that you need to do for your life, right? So if you have any questions about Euro USD, leave them in the chat. But I would say for right now on your Euro USD, I would consider that a two trade right now. It's not in the wholesale area. You may be able to get it average at the average price. And I say that by looking at what I just shown and also seeing that the stochastic is currently down. That means that if you do pay for it right now, there's not that much downside to it. Now, could you catch some consolidation? Absolutely. You could catch some consolidation at that area because it's the average price. Is where think of the average prices where people agree. As you see here on the weekly, there are people agreeing each week. That's an agreement. That's a whole month of agreements. Price up, price down, price up, price down, price up, up. We don't like the price. Price is always think about it another way. Price is always trying to get to this anchored VWAP, this volume, this average price, right? It's bidding. That's all it is. It's bidding and ask. When y'all get into your trade, you see bid and you see ask. Well, this is it on the chart. That's it on the chart. The VWAP is representing your mid price. So price is always overshooting or undershooting the average price. I mean, how many people can you get to agree? Like, let's think about it. As above, so below. How many people can you really get to agree for a long time? It's shown here on the chart. So you're going to see it overshoot. If you look at it from that perspective, well, price is always trying to get to this VWAP, this midline, and most of the time it overshoots it. Sometimes it is right there. It's right about average where the bulls and the bears, the buyers and the sellers, where they're in agreement, say, hey, this price is right for right now. It doesn't mean forever, but just for right now. So right now we see that price is just overshot it. You know, we see that right here on the weekly price overshot it. And now that it's overshot it, what is it trying to do? I like to call it correction. You may hear people say retrace. I like to say price needs to correct itself. So price is currently trying to correct itself and come back down. Maybe it catches right here and at the average price. Now that's a choice that you'll have to make based on the technicals that you're learning and learn. So now I'm gonna go over to USD JPY. See, this is a trade I am in. I'm in this trade. I'm currently in this trade. Good open. Okay, so let's go ahead and chart this one up. We got the weekly. We see the lowest. You can call it your swing low and your swing high. That's another way, another term. They all mean the same thing, like a lot of other things that we know about. But it means the same thing, right? It means the same exact thing. Swing high, swing low. That's my swing high, my swing low. I told y'all I was gonna do the box to full. So we'll do the full box. Let's see here. We're gonna do the full box. All right, so watch this. All right. So USD JPY. We see the retail area, we see the wholesale area, which is what I explained at the beginning of this training or this charting session that I'll be doing every week. By the way, like, share, subscribe. I see that you type something in the chat. It helps with the engagement on YouTube. So they see that people are interested. However that works, just do it. It makes it easy. So, and I really want to help people that want to be helped. Like it means something to me. This is why I do it. This is why I'm on here putting myself out there is to help those that want to be helped and for them to find someone that actually can trade, in my opinion, people that can trade and not just trying to sell something. There's nothing to be bought over here. You can donate now. You can donate. I have buy a coffee in the comment. And also you can subscribe to the Substack as well for the weekly newsletters. Sometimes I do weekly no, not sometimes. I always do weekly newsletters as well, so you can go ahead and do that. So back to USD JPY. That was a brief intermission. You got your retail area. You got your wholesale area. Now I got into a buy. Right now I can show you exactly when. Let's see. My most recent. So the first buy. Let's see here. The first buy was down here. See prices at this wholesale area. So prices. I'm at the 4 hour where the cursor is. The price was on this PSAR. I'll tell you exactly what happened. The price hit the PSAR, entered the trade. Bada boom, bada bang. Now the goal is right. I only want to buy in the wholesale area. I don't want to sell in the wholesale area. So I'm looking to take buys. I'm gonna consistently take buys. Every trade won't be perfect. So this was one entry. I'm gonna put a vertical line right here, just so you can possibly see it. Yep, there you go. Look at that. Look how that lined up. First, let's analyze this one. Right, price hit that PSAR on the 4 hour. We see that. Let me not go to the 4 hour right now. Let's look at that daily. The daily, you see where that stochastic is at? We see the wholesale area. Look at that. It was at 16 and 13. That's perfecto. Mucho gusto. That's great because it's showing you that there's not that much downside left to that stochastic. I highly encourage you to learn more about stochastic and just internalize it the way that best fits you. I'm saying in the way that best fits me. To me, that's like going into a store and seeing something on sale. Like you see it's time to buy it. Like, oh man, it's on sale. Like, I don't know. I guess you go to Walmart and it says it's the rollback price, right? This is the rollback price. If you want to compare it to something like Walmart, this is the rollback price. I'm buying at that time. I'm looking to buy. Now, where did you enter at? Just what I stated before. I entered at this is the 4 hour now. I entered at the PSAR. The PSAR gave me my entry and it also gave me my stop loss because once price touches this dot, it's going to now flip over. It's going to do a PSAR flip. That may be the technical term for it. It's a PSAR flip. Now you can trail it. Now what I'm getting at is I'm not trailing in the wholesale area. Yes, yes, I entered the PSAR on a 4 hour flip. I'm not looking to sell at that point. Why? Let's think about it. We're talking about buying wholesale and selling retail. If I'm buying in the wholesale, why would I want to sell in the wholesale as well? We're swing trading. So swing trading, you're gonna hold it longer. And also what you're gonna get, right? This is something I found monumental. It's called pyramid trading. Pyramid trading is the opposite of what I consider to be wrong. People say average down. Now I'm not gonna say things are right, things are wrong. It just depends on how you use it. But I like to average up. And you can look up more information on averaging up in your trade or pyramiding your trade. I'm stacking my trade, right? So that's one piece I enter. Now this long little area, this happened on a Newsday, September the 18th. Let's see. Yeah, maybe I may be incorrect on the date. It was either September the 18th or September the 27th. One of these long candles was a Newsday, but that's needless to say right now. Just something I remember. So that's one entry, and then here's your second entry. Each PSAR you could use as an entry. Now, what's going to change is the first. I want to lower. I'm lowering my risk. I'm not. If I do a 0.65 right here, this may be a 0.50, but I'm still going to keep. I want to keep my stop loss around the same. I don't want to have my stop loss like in the middle. So I want to keep my stop loss the same, right? And then let's see here. The next entry, let's see. The next entry was right here, right there. So that's three entries on USD JPY. Well, I want all my stop losses to be the same as the first one. I don't want my stop loss in the middle of it. I want my stop loss right where the first one was if I'm stacking my trades. And of course, you're not gonna sit here and just risk a lot. You're gonna have smaller amounts that you're risking, right? So you're gonna not of course, it's something I'm saying. You're gonna have a smaller amount that you're risking per trade, but you're still adding on more. You're adding on more to the trade that's going in your favor, right? Now, well, when do you start trailing, or when do you start to take profits? You look to take profits around that retail area. So currently, we're not in the retail area, so there's nothing to do. I'm currently in this trade, and there's nothing to do. And as we see, the market for the USD JPY is currently open right now. We currently see the clock is ticking, and we're still getting bullish momentum. Right? I'm not looking to sell at fair value. I'm not looking to sell at this moment. I want to sell at retail, buy wholesale, sell retail. Let me know if that makes sense in the chat by letting me know. Type of one in the chat, and that'll let me know that I'm moving in the right direction and everything is uh, clear as mud, as they said in the military. But it made sense. It makes sense. Perfect. You know they say if it makes sense, it makes money. Now sense, right? That can be, you may think of it as it makes sense, SENSE. But if you think about it another way, if it makes sense, CENTS, it'll make money. So I just want to make sure it makes sense. Um, so now we're going to move on to GBP USD, the British pound. We're going to move over to the British pound. I'm gonna go through it's the same exact thing. I'm looking at now these dots show me. These dots show me the swing high and swing low. I've already refreshed this timeline. So when you refresh the timeline, it pretty much just refreshes the Fibonacci's. It refreshes the whole chart. It updates the chart, if I may. So I'm going through. I see the dots. It's telling me exactly where it's at. So here I go. I see it about right here. Like I said on this YouTube. Soon it'll be on X as well. So stay tuned for that once I learn how to connect it. So we're on YouTube right now. So like I said, on here on YouTube, I have my wholesale area from 1 to 0.68. That's my wholesale area. Where's my retail area? From 0 to above 382. Now, like I'm gonna go back into it again. This is more conservative. If you put it at the candle, that would be more conservative. I like being conservative. I have no problem with being conservative with trading. I'm trading to make money, not just take attempts at losing money by taking a whole bunch of trades. I don't do that. I don't take a whole bunch of trades. Um, Maybe I would say about 5 to 20 trades a month, and I'm really reaching when I say 20. But 5 to 20 trades a month. You're looking to make about 5 to 20. I'm saying you want to have at minimum in 3 months, you'll have 20 trades total. Now think about that compared to a day trader. Day trading, you may have 20 trades in a week. Day trading, you may have 20 trades in a week. So I'm not looking to take that many trades, but like I said, for YouTube, I'll keep it at this. It'll be more, this is considered more risky, but just being aware of that, that's something to be aware of. So right now we currently see that the British pound against the USD is currently on a it's on a downtrend. It's on a downtrend. Are you gonna buy right here? No, you're not gonna buy. It's above value. What shows you it's above value? Well, one, you could just say the VWAP. The VWAP is showing you that it's above value. I'm not looking to buy above value. However, we currently see it's going down. We see our stochastic is on a downtrend right now. The stochastic quote unquote valve is still red is on top. The Bears are in control right now. If you're buying a trade right now, if you're buying right now, you're buying in a downwards momentum. Now, if you were in a sale, I'm not sure if I took this trade. I'll have to check. I'm not in it. I probably got out somewhere down here into profit if I did. So on this, I know I showed you some examples for a buy. So let's say a sale. The sale would be the exact opposite. You want to sell in the retail area. We see here that the stochastics was high. The stochastic was high in the retail area. Well, you know what? That makes sense. That makes sense, Tony. You know what? You're right. The stochastics was high. So at that time, I'm looking to take sales. So if you're taking sales when price cross down, I'm gonna open up my 4 hour chart. When price cross down this PSAR, I'll take my shot, I'll take my swing, I'll take my if you bowling, your roll, whatever you want to think of. I'm taking my chance at that time. Now let's say, well, you're wrong, right? You put your stop loss right here and price comes and hits you. That's okay. It's going to happen. You can be at the right place and it could be the wrong time. As above, so below. It's everywhere. It just happens, right? But don't quit. Don't give up. Stay tuned. Set your alert. The PSAR still is right there. The PSAR still active and you're still looking for your entry using the PSAR. Bam. Now you get another entry. You took a small loss. This is the reason why you don't just go and take a big risk because you could be wrong. Wrong timing. It's just wrong timing. It doesn't mean that you're wrong. It's not that you're a bad trader. It's just at the time it was wrong. And that's okay. You can't predict that part. You're not going to be perfect. Maybe you can. And if so, that's for you to show the world that you're perfect. But you may not, a person may not be perfect. I just don't want to knock it off to say that a person can't because I believe that you can do all things, right? So with the PSAR, you got in the trade right here. It came down to just say you got stopped out up here, right? Still wait, be patient, wait for your next entry. We see time went by the 26th, the 27th, the 29th, and then the 30th. The 30th came, and then October. So say 4 or 5 days came. 4 or 5 days later, you took a trade. You finally got that entry. You've been waiting on it. You've been waiting on this trade. So price hits that PSAR, and then it heads down in that retail area, and it starts hitting down. Now you're already in the trade. You're already in profit. Now the small loss that you took on that first trade, you made that back. You made that back plus some, right? By being in this trade, and you're still in this trade now. Where to sell at? Look to sell around the average price. That's what I do. I like to look to sell around the average price. They say, or another way you may hear it is you'll hear sell into strength. The strength is down here. The strength is going down. Sell into it. As the strength, as it's pushing down, get ready to sell. You're not going to be perfect. You're always there's two things you're always going to say. Man, what is it? Man, I could have taken more profit, and right, that's something we always say every time we get out of trade. It's like, man, I could have got more. Or you're going to say, man, I got out in time. Every single time you get out of trade, it's those same two things. You got out when you're supposed to get out because you're doing the same thing. You're selling into strength. You don't have to add anything extra onto that. You sold because you sold into strength. You're always gonna say, man, I could have held on longer. Man, I got out right in time. It reversed. That's always something you can say. That's just you saying that. And you can always say it. So GBP, I have that currently is down right here. I'm looking for price to come down here to this wholesale area. Right now it's not in the wholesale area. So I'm gonna hold on it, but I'm gonna stay looking at it bullish. I'm gonna stay looking at the GBP USD bullish. So let's see, we got USD. Let me make sure I write this down. Let me go back to USD JPY real quick and circle back. So I'm already in this trade, right? And that's bullish. It's currently going up. We see that the stochastic is up, so that's something to be mindful of. The stochastic is up, and it's also above like the average price. So I I trimmed my trade already right here at like the average price. So I trimmed down on it. I mean, I took some profit and I left some on the table where you hear let your winners run. Well, I let my winners, that's what I'm doing. I'm letting my winners run. I'm letting my winners run to like, somewhere right here where it says 153. That's what I'm doing. I like to trim. I trim at about the average, take some profits, and I let the rest run and see what it does from there. So we have USD currently bullish. We have GBP USD also, which is currently it's overvalued right now, but it's in a downtrend. So I would be waiting. I'm not looking for a sale right now. Why? Because it's not in that retail area. It's actually outside of the retail area. And I wouldn't look to buy it right now because we see that the stochastic is currently trending down. So I'm expecting it to come down some more, and then I'll start looking for some buys. But the whole thing is to make sure that you're buying wholesale, selling retail. If you have any questions in the chat, make sure that you type them in the chat. And just a reminder, make sure you leave a comment, like, share, subscribe. Uh, oh, wait, I didn't see this. Look at this. Okay. So here we have USD CHF, which is the Swiss franc. So this is let me put a star next to this one because I already see it. All right, so right now we're in a wholesale area, right? Wholesale area, make it a little bit bigger. Wholesale area and it's undervalued, right? Wholesale area, the VWAP is stating undervalue above the VWAP, above value at the VWAP average value, the average going price. And then we have the retail area, bam, right here, right? So now I'm waiting. Now it may not be the time right now. Well, I can see it. It's not the time right now. We're in the wholesale area. Perfecto. That's perfect. That's a good setup. We see the shot is clear. The coast it's almost clear. But what do y'all in the chat? What do you see about this one? Based on the teachings today, what do you see about this particular trade? Would you take this trade right now? Let me know in the chat if you would take this trade right now as I sip some of this spring water, natural. Let's see what we have. Would you take this trade right now? We see it's in the wholesale area. We see prices in the wholesale area on the weekly. The weekly is giving us our swing high, our swing low. I like to say wholesale and retail areas. It makes logical sense to me to say it that way. That's something that we commonly use just in our day-to-day lives. And we all should know, especially as business owners, because that's what we are. If you're trading, you're a business owner. Congratulations. Are you looking to buy right now? Or are you looking to enter? Let's say enter. Because you will be looking to buy in wholesale areas. You're looking to buy, but would you enter at this moment? Let me know in the chat if you would enter in this area. You can leave. You can say yes or no, or you can leave something more elaborate. You can elaborate. I'm gonna give it 10 seconds. I'm gonna give it 10 seconds. Or are we waiting for the Stokes to cross? So on this one, right? Perfect. So we got Tiffany said, no, we're not looking. So I agree with that. We're not looking right now. We're looking, quote unquote, for the buy, but we're not entering the buy because our stochastic is telling you that price, although prices in the wholesale area, it's just too expensive right now. What makes it too expensive right now? The stochastics is high. Think of this as your whatever amount that you're putting into it, right? I'm gonna use, let's just say $100. I'm gonna use $100 right now. So if this is $100 of value, this is 0. If you pay for it right now, this is right now it's at 79. Y'all see that 79 and 87 in the corner, right? You're overpaying for it. Let's just I like to call it 79%. You're That's 79% above value right now. So as time goes on, you're gonna see it start coming down. What goes up must come down. That's a law of nature. What goes up must come down. I want to buy it when price is down. When it's stochastic, it's in the wholesale area. That's good. That tells me that I should be looking for my buys around this area. But what else? We need to wait for a correction. Wait till the price is corrected. And I want to wait for price to come down because currently it's up. Currently it's up right here on the stochastic. And it said below 20ish. Below 20ish, that would be perfect. Below 20ish will be perfect. I'm fine with that. But the another thing, or I would say pretty much that's I don't want to say the main thing, but one of the top things, right, is to make sure that it's below the 50. If you're looking to buy, make sure your stochastic is below the 50. Because right now that's paying, you're in the wholesale area, but you're still paying above the value of it at this current moment. Now, like I said, it's not that you would be wrong on the trade, it would be the bad timing. We wanna give ourselves a better chance at the timing of our trades. So below the 50 if you're looking for a buy, above 50 if you're looking for a sell. Right now it's in a wholesale area. We just need to make sure that our timing is better. And by looking at the stochastic, seeing that the stochastic is undervalued below the 50, we can look to enter our trades. So I did write this one down. I put a star next to it because once I see it below, this is the 4 hour. You don't even have to look at the 4 hour until it's time to enter your trade. But if you see it over here, because I do keep my charts like this, I see right here the VWAP is telling me that it's above value. That's one way. Maybe that's too much for everybody. I'm just stating exactly the way I look at it because you don't even have to have the VWAP on here. Look, you can do this. That's it. It's not necessary to be truthful. It's not necessary. I like having it on there. I may want to enter at that time. Maybe I didn't get in the trade exactly when I wanted to. Like I like to use that. I like to look at it. Now that's a preference. So with the PSAR, there's just the PSAR right here. Enter the trade. This would have been one entry, right? You'd have caught it about, let's see, the 28th. That could have been an entry. Was that the last entry? I don't think so. It's still in that area. I think that it'll come back down. I think that it'll come back down and we'll get another opportunity to enter the trade. That's what I think. That's not what I know at this current moment. But it's not a lot of room for it to continue going up. It's only 0 to 100. It's 0 to 100, and right now it says 79. The K percent, if I'm correct on the, it's K% and the D%, right? I always get those two kind of mixed up, but one is representing like the fast line, and then let's see one is representing the fast line, and the other one is representing like an average of it, like a 3 day moving average of it, right? So one is representing what it is, and the other one is representing the average of 3 days on the stochastics. So currently on that one, just to keep it plain and simple, we want to wait till it's below the 50. So I will let me put back on my VWAP. I'll keep my eye on it. Not looking at a lot of trades. I'm not even worried about it. It's gonna take time for it to happen. For it to come down, it may not even happen this week. But when it does, we're going to be ready. It's going these are taking This is swing trading. Swing trading is consistent, is For swing trading, you have to be patient. You may not take a trade every week, and that's okay. Go do something else with your life. There's other things out there to do because when you are in a trade, you're still gonna be doing the same thing. You're gonna be waiting. It's a lot of patience is needed to swing trade. Once you get into this trade, it may be 5 to 30 days before you take profit, right? And we're not just looking to do things; we're looking to execute. All right. So I have a start next to USD CHF. Now I'm gonna go over here to the USD CAD. The ones I primarily look at, by the way, for the forex tickers are the top liquidity trade. They're considered the major pairs. I'm only looking at the major pairs. I'm not dealing with a lot of other things because then, for me, I'm not saying you cannot, but for me, you'll just end up in a whole bunch of different trades. If you do that, then trade small. But I like to keep it on the major pairs. I look at Bitcoin, gold, and silver as well. I don't trade silver. I would trade gold, but gold's been running off on the plug for a while now. So I haven't had an opportunity to get in it. It's just been up. Gold has just been up. And also with Bitcoin, I'm interested in Bitcoin. For the I don't believe in too many things that's man made, so I won't go too much into the Bitcoin thing. But I'm open to knowing that Bitcoin is a risky investment. I'll have to do more reading, more studying. They have some books about it, but like I said, it's man made. That's the way that I like to. That's the way that I see it. So now over here with USD CAD. Now USD CAD came down and it pretty much got around this range for the golden ratio on the downside, which is definitely below value, right? It's below value. So I took this trade when it was down here. All right, let me see. Yeah, let me put a line here so I'll show you. I took that trade when it came up over here, but that's all in hindsight now. I took some profits right here just because I normally don't just buy it below like in this area. It's something that I was open to doing. It was something I was open to doing, and I did take that trade. But right now, we see that the USD CAD is currently below value, right? It's below the wholesale area. And then right here, we have our retail area. So now I still would be waiting for the USD CAD to come back down. I'm still looking for buys, but right now it's just overvalued. It's over its wholesale value. We need a correction on it. But what I will do is because it is entering that zone for that wholesale area on the USD CAD, I'll look to take it up. I'm gonna put a star next to that one as well. I put a star next to it because it's in a zone, like a pitch on baseball. In baseball, when they throw over that little plate, that's the time for the batter to swing the ball. That's when they have the best opportunity to hit to get on the first base. If it's outside of the wholesale area, right? If it's outside of that plate, then you don't want to take a swing, right? So that's kind of how it is right now. It's outside of that plate. By what cancels that is the stochastics. We see the stochastics right now is crossing up that 50 line. So it's above value. Remember, if we're buying, we're not looking to pay with the common folks. We we want to buy wholesale. We know, as they would say out there, is we know the plug. If you know the plug, then you can get the price for lower. We get the price for a lower. And that's what we have. We have the chart. The chart is our plug. If you know how to use the chart correctly. All right. So USD CAD, this one is currently, we'll wait on it. We need to wait for it to come down, that stochastics to come down, and then we'll be able to get in that trade. I'm gonna move on to the AUD, and we'll have a few left. And if you have any in the chat that you want me to take a look at, I'll take a look at that as well. Any stocks as well that you want to take a look at, I'll go ahead and chart those up, and I can go over those as well. I do have one stock that I can pull up that I would like to. Um, after the next, I have two more tickers on my list, which is I have AUD, NZUSD, and also Bitcoin. And then I'll take a look at the stock trade the stock pick of the week is what I'll call it. So we have a wholesale, it's the same thing, consistency, the consistency of it all. We're in a retail area right here on the AUD. USD. I have AUD USD written down as expensive. That's how I like to put it. It's either retail, aka expensive. Now, what we need is a correction. A correction consists of the daily stochastic being above the 50. Right now it's right at the 50. We still need an entry. Notice the PSAR is on top. So the first entry was up here. Y'all see that? The first entry was right here. Price came, it hit this PSAR, and then it did what? It flipped. Now you just take it on down. If you got in up here, you just hold it. You just hold the trade. You can hold it, you can trim down, you take some profits, and then let the rest ride, right? But right now, we need to wait for it to come back up. So I will put a star next to this one. The reason, let's see, downtrend. It's in a downtrend, but what I will wait for is a correction. So I'm waiting for a correction because right now we don't. If you're only using the PSAR to swing. How often can you be incorrect? This is number three on risk management. You're not going to be able to swing too many trades. You're not going to be able to get into too many trades if you're using a PSAR. You're using something on here, an indicator on here in a range inside of a box, right? You're narrowing it down to a box when you can enter the trade. So we see prices currently, it was above the retail area. So yeah, you can take the PSAR down if you so may choose, as long as the stochastics was up. The stochastics was high on this one. Then you can take it down. Or if you want to wait till it's in a box. Wait till it's in a box. As we see, it's currently right here around that box. I would think that price is going to consolidate and then come back when the stochastic is back up and the PSAR gives me an entry. I'm gonna take the trade back down. I'm gonna take this trade and down. We see looking at the weekly that it's currently above value right now. Looking at the VWAP. If you go to the VWAP, you can look at it and say it's above value. Well, what else tells you that it's above value? Number two is on the daily. It's saying the same thing. The weekly is showing that it's above value, and then the stochastic is showing you it's right. Pretty much above value slash at value. I'm waiting. I'm waiting in this range, right? I'll be waiting. So for AUD USD, I have it on a downtrend, and I'll currently be waiting for a correction. Next up is the NZD USD. NZD USD, same thing. Right here, 0 to 1. I'm sorry, 0 to 382, and then you take the one down to the 618. Take the one down to the 618. We see that price is currently it's right it's slightly above value, but we see here that the stochastic is down, right? So in my thoughts, I'm thinking that right now, remember, price is always trying to get to the VWAP. It's not trying to get to the VWAP. It's trying to get to a price agreement. So if price hits that VWAP, that's the average price. I'm thinking that it's going to consolidate at that level. So the retail area, it may not be this week, but eventually it could change. That retail area could flip. So say next week when I refresh this screen here, those Fibonacci could then switch. I'm paying attention to the swing high and the swing low. We could have a whole new swing high and swing low next week. And if so, if we did next week, then that would change. And I'm thinking that this retail area will become the new wholesale area. It'll be the new low point. But right now, that's not it. So just paying attention to right now, it's in a retail area. I'm not looking to buy right here. I'm not looking to buy at this point, right? It's in a retail area. If I buy right now, I'm paying a high. Okay, well, if that's too complicated, look at the VWAP. What does the VWAP tell you? The VWAP telling you will be paying too high. Let's go back. I'm gonna go back to because we're not. I'm not gonna trade this one. I don't even. I wouldn't trade this one. It's in a retail area. So let me go back to something that was below value. I think it was this one. Look at that one. You can look to buy that one. I'm gonna go back to it one more time. So look at this weekly. Look at the VWAP, and I'm saying look for a buy. Be open to the buys when the stochastic comes down. It may not be this week, right? And then let's go back to the NZD USD. Why would you look for a buy at this one? It's above the VWAP. So I'm not looking for a buy above the VWAP. Type of one in the chat if that all makes sense to you on that one. BTC USD. And lastly on here, last is Bitcoin. So Bitcoin, we got the 0 to the 382, and then we have our retail area, which is the same thing right here. So currently Bitcoin, it's in a little area now. Man, this one, Bitcoin is interesting. I think there's some speculation. I think there's a lot of speculation regarding Bitcoin. I mean, the same speculation that you have, same speculation that I have, the same speculation that I would say a lot of people have, which is they don't know. We don't know what's next, and that's what makes it, I would consider, a risky investment. This isn't investment advice. This is just my thoughts. I consider it. I read a few books, just to get more clarity and more understanding on things. But there's a lot more that you can learn, and I think that you should before making an investment as such. But I just like to keep it simple. It's a man made. It's something man made. I don't know who created it. They say that there's a code. Once again, man made. I like to. I prefer nature's money, lawful money, constitutional money. Constitutional money. What is that? Constitutional money is silver and gold. That's what I prefer. It's lawful money. It's the Constitution. It's your constitutional rights. If you read your Bill of Rights, if you read your Bill of Rights, you read your Constitution, you'll see that gold and silver are your lawful money, right? Bitcoin is considered a commodity at this point. I believe it should be considered like a commodity. I'm not sure if they said that yet. Uh, So right now, that's how I take it as such. It's a man-made currency, digital currency, and that's the way that I'll be looking at it. So right now, away from my thoughts and my opinions, what's on the chart? On the chart right now, I see it at like a retail area for at this moment. It's at a retail area, and the stochastic is down. So I'm not looking to buy at this point at 62,000. It's right around this average price. If you did buy right now, just know that you will be buying around average price, right? Remember, price is always overshooting or going below the average price. It's always trying to get in agreements with that blue line, whatever that may be for each person. It's always trying to get, not for each person. It's gonna be the same on all ice cream. It's always trying to get right there at that point. And currently, right now, it's slightly below it. I don't want to buy it like that. I want to buy it when I want to buy it, and I have the choice to do so. Well, when is that? It's in the wholesale area. If I'm looking to buy anything, I'm buying it in the wholesale area. So right now, just it's just not that time. Could you make some money? Yeah, but you also put yourself at a risk. Why did I say you can make money? Because the stochastic is crossed up right here. The stochastic is crossed, and we see here that it's kind of flat. It- Never mind the flat part. It's the stochastic is crossed right here, but it's in a retail area. I don't want to buy retail. I don't want to buy retail. That's what you've been taught. That's what we've been taught. We've been taught to go in the store and buy everything retail. Don't go buy it retail. You don't have to, right? Buy wholesale. Buy wholesale, get more bang for your buck. Get more bang for your buck by buying wholesale. Last one. Last but certainly not least. AUD, USD, gold, lawful money, lawful. Look up those terms, by the way. We got the wholesale area down here. Now, I don't think it's going down here at all. Once again, it's my thoughts. I'm not sure if it'll make it down there, but it's been running. Now they don't talk about gold a lot on the news or on TV, but if you have these charts in front of you, you know that gold's been running. Right. My first time I got in gold. Let's see here. Watch. Let's see here. When was it? It was when it was oversold, quote unquote. Now things have changed. So if I say I got in right here, then obviously by now the charts have changed. But it was like down here somewhere. So when I say the charts have changed, the retail areas have changed. But I got in, right? And this is something I learned from. I got in at a low point. This retail area was not the retail area when I originally got into the trade. It was the wholesale area. But I got into the trade. It went up and I ended up getting out. I got out I got out probably because I was in profits by a certain amount, and I just got out. And what I should have did, and what I learned from, is to get out of your trade. You don't have to get out of the full trade, but you can partially sell. So that's something that I would have did differently because we're always learning. You should always be learning. You should never just have it all. Like think you just have it all down pat. You should always be open to learning, right? Something I learned today about it. If you wanted a new vehicle, I'm gonna use a Bugatti. If you wanted I'll use an Escalade. Let's use an Escalade. If you wanted an Escalade, you would do what you need to do for it. You would work for it. You would learn the things that you need to learn to acquire that said vehicle. But once you got that vehicle, now you got the Escalade. You're no longer in a want for that. There's no longer a thirst for that. And we in trading, I correlate that with trading because we must always be in the thirst for knowledge, a thirst for learning more and everything that we have it. Because once you have it, you then begin to descend, right? So never, we always want to be in the ascension stage. We always want to be growing, never too big for ourselves. So with gold, we see that gold is currently above value. So it's currently above value, and I mean, gold is a long term hold. Gold for it to be up, there's something going on, right? This is a safe haven. This is considered like a safe haven asset. You go to gold, you hold gold when something ain't when you not too sure about the market. Um, I'm not even sure that's just an opinion. That may be a fact. You're holding on to gold when you're not too sure because gold has been around for ages. Go do the research on it. Gold has been around for ages. It's always been something that was used as a form of currency. So that's the last ticker I have. I think the ones that I currently have on my radar. There's nothing that I saw that I said I would like enter today or enter tomorrow. There's nothing that I saw. Maybe there's some news. Maybe there's a news release and they'll show me something otherwise. But right now, the stars that I have is USD CHD. I'm looking for it to be corrected on the stochastics. Looking for the stochastics to come down, and then I'll be able to enter that trade for a buy. But currently, right now, it's above value. Second would be USD CAD. USD CAD is below value. Now, what I'm looking for on this one is the stochastics to come down. I want to see the stochastics come down right on the daily. See the stochastics come down a little bit more, and then I'll be able to enter that trade. Well, what is your entry? As we went over, is the PSAR. We're looking for the PSAR. There's no P. The PSAR is at the bottom right now, so clearly you can't enter this trade, right? That's just it's common sense now that you've learned this information. It's now common sense. So common sense tells you that you can't enter this trade. If I put an alert right here, it won't give me an alert until it goes down. I don't want to alert when it goes down. I want to alert when it goes up. And currently, you're not able to do that. So right now, USD CAD, we'll be waiting for a correction on it. And I think this was the next one, USD or AUD USD. This is the only one that I'm looking for a sale on. And for it to get a sale, it also would need to correct. By correction, I mean that the stochastics would need to come up, and the same thing regarding the PSAR. The PSAR would need to give us an entry. So right now we don't have that. Um, that's how I see the week right now. And this is my stock pick for the stock traders out there. If anybody wants to take a stock trade, this is a different one. This one is a long term hold. This was a long term hold, like an investment type. So now you're gonna see like a perfect trade almost a perfect trade. So right here, now this would be what I consider a positional trade. Positional trade, you're looking to hold this for a few months. You buy this, you probably can buy some leaps on this one. You probably can look at some leaps on this one for option traders out there. So we see that's in the wholesale area. This is CVX, CVS. This is CVS, and it's in a wholesale area. We see, look at this wholesale area. What happened? It was just stochastics was down. Um, and you see the entries. The PSAR was the entry. So PSAR entry, you have your stop loss. You would have got stopped out on the first trade, right? But honestly, if you're doing options, if you're long term on a trade like this, wait, let me double check this. Oh wait, you wouldn't. Yeah, you would enter the first one. Let's just say if you entered the first one, because this is all hindsight. I don't even like doing the hindsight talk. And so you would have, I could have. I don't do all that. So with that being said, we're gonna do it right now. So you would have entered the trade right now, entered the trade here, and you would have had a stop loss. And just say you got stopped out right now. That's fine. Enter the next trade and you have a stop loss. Don't move your stop loss while you're in. You're only looking to buy inside of the wholesale areas. You're not looking to move us. You're not looking to trail it. You're buying. You have confidence. This was June. We're now in October, right? Yeah, we're now in October. That's one buy, two buys, three, and then I see like four. So 4 or 5 buys at that time. You don't have to buy each time, but I'm just saying these are different entries. These are different entries. And if you did buy, because you're not looking at a whole bunch of stocks to trade, if you did buy, well, you will be buying. If you know your leap, you're buying leaps because this is a long-term positional trade where you're going to be holding. So you see here where you bought and you held. I'm pointing at the daily now, or this is the weekly, right? You held and you're just waiting to sell it at the retail area. The retail area now for CVS is 71 to 83. I would be looking to sell it around this VWAP. Whenever price hits this VWAP, I will be looking to trim down on my trades. So want to leave you guys with that. Let's see if I have anything else. I don't have anything else. I have a link in the bio for my Substack newsletter that I put out weekly. Also during throughout the days, I always just drop some information, maybe something that I learned or came across, and I want to share with the masses. And that's one of my ways of doing it. So make sure that you subscribe to the Substack, and also I have a donate, like, share, subscribe, donate. I have buy me a coffee. I am a coffee connoisseur. I'm a coffee connoisseur, and I use that as my caffeine, my quote unquote energy to produce this information to give me more energy throughout the days to continue reading, to continue leveling up in knowledge, and to be able to share with others. So if you like the information that I shared, um, make sure that you share it with somebody that could take heed of the information. And also leave a comment and stay tuned. I plan on doing sharing live streams every week. This is something I do anyway. I have to get ready for the week anyway. So while I'm here alive and kicking, I want to make sure that I'm able to share because this is some information I think that could be used forever as this has been passed down to me. And I want to pass it on to others. So with all that said, I thank you guys for tuning in today. I want to wish you all a green week and peace and blessings to all. May y'all have a great day and a great week.